Yeah. And also in the public, we're more public around, but we appreciated the help of the intermediate unit, the transition. We appreciated Teresa spending time. Both Tanya and Teresa, there was a day on a Friday when the school was closed, came in and really worked for a smooth transition. So we want that Tanya here and appreciative of all of the IU's help and assistance. Tanya.
Thank you very much. She sure has been very helpful transitioning in. So the finance committee consists of three items today. One is an update on the asset inventory, which is actually on the board agenda to approve Industrial Appraisal Company IAC with a contracted rate for services of $8,330. Moving forward, there were two other that submitted. Both were higher at $9,500 and $10,250. Any questions about that?
We're very happy on how responsive they've been, answering all our questions in a very timely manner. As we mentioned, they have business out until January and February. So they're in demand, but we really have the right company to come in based on the suggestions of the JOC to move forward and get that appraisal and asset inventory in place for this year and next year.
Correct.
So they wouldn't be coming out until January or February, but no, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know what timeline we were expecting. But, yeah.
Typically, from my experience, however, I'm coming over from New Jersey, but in my experience, we do most of these anyways towards this summer, towards the end of the year anyway. So it's fine going in there, but it's nice that they've been so responsive. They pick up the phone immediately, answer all the questions, especially for myself, new, right? Having a lot of questions, so they've been great.
And so if this would show up as like a finding in the audit, and we showed the auditors that we were being proactive and doing it, that's sort of corrects that. Okay.
Correct. And it'll give us a nice foundation to really clean slate, start fresh. Here's what an independent first contract came in and documented for us.
Great.
The next item is oil price update for this week's home heating cost or home heating oil. So I did have an update from Don, which I appreciate because it's better news. Right now, the fixed rate is at $3.53, which is just over what was actually budgeted for. So if you were to lock in right now, it would only be about $1,000 and $1,080 over the budget, what we put in the budget for this year. So that's really good news.
We want Dr. Bolton, it was very instrumental in setting the way. Hold the line.
Hold the line, they're coming down.
So what's the Farmer's Almanac telling us next winter's going to look like? So we know if we're going to go over or not.
So, I was going to say it out loud, but what do we do?
No, sounds like a good price for today.
I haven't seen too many of those woolly bear caterpillars. Isn't that the sign that we're supposed to have for? Oh, it's still early?
It's been too long.
So, and the last item for me is the audit update. Spoke with Anthony Rapp, and he is sending his staff out next week to finish up that audit. He'll be here for a few days with his staff, or his staff will be here. So looking forward to really seeing the conclusion of that and the findings. So all documents have been put together again. Teresa was phenomenal, came in on Friday and really helped me go through and put everything together. So I can't thank her enough. And so I think we are ready. We have everything. I think one last thing has to be printed out because they want it as of up to date and current as of the day they walk in. So we're waiting to print that out. But otherwise, we're ready to go for them, to my knowledge, what they've requested. Next edit or updates on the agenda.
We also appreciate the Sending Schools who came in, it was very helpful. And
Absolutely.
nice to have that support with the transition economy. We appreciate the JOC support too.
Absolutely.
With the Bucks County Intermediate Unit providing those services for another month, which is on the agenda also to make sure it's a smooth transition.
And I saw you had under open items, the Divot Premium Holiday. Is there a decision we have to make about?
It's I was informed by Tracy as a reminder that that's still open and there should be some decision made in the near future about that.
Okay,
Not that it's for action today.
yeah, that's why I said there wasn't anything in that, it was just there, so I didn't know.
Just a reminder that we don't forget it,
Mhm.
that we should consider that. And one other informational item would be, I did sit on a business administrator meeting this week, and the electric rates will be up, our contract, and we'll have to negotiate or look at those. And they are projecting that those costs are going to double. So your rates are at like a 3.2%, and we're budgeted about 153,000 in the budget for electric, and we're projecting that we'll have to budget next year about 325,000 for the 23-24 school year. So we'll know more in the future, but it's just for put it on your radar to think about as we move forward, especially as we enter into the budget building.
And have we in the past shopped around for suppliers, for different energy suppliers? I know we're stuck with Pico for the transmission in, but sometimes you could search for different suppliers. And, I know commercial entities can do that as well.
Yeah, we had one vendor came in last month that talked to us about it as an option, and we have Constellation, which may be a branch of Pico,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's probably part of the process to see.
yeah. So with rates going up, it's probably something we should look into.
Which I believe you did the last time as well, so.
Yeah.
Most of Quakertown is Pico.
Quakertown Borough has their own electric, but the outside of Quakertown, most of it is PP&L.
I would say that's one Pico over in Springfield, the rest of ours is Med Ed.
Yeah. How's your Med Ed rate then?
I know Palisades uses like a consultant, probably similar to what Don was saying, to shop around for contract.
Okay.
Can I cycle back to oil pricing, because I didn't hear consensus? Currently, the situation is that we've been authorized, if it hits 350, to buy. If the board wants to do something at the 353 price, there would need to be a change to the agenda to go ahead and lock into that. You're saying it would be just about $1,100 above the budgeted number.
I would suggest to leave it as is and let you guys continue to watch and make an educated decision about when you think it's best to lock in or
If
not.
it goes up to 356, we buy it.
Yeah, we could put a top on there too and a bottom. I'm kidding.
I just think they've been analyzing it and making a decision.
Well,
I'd
they
like
have
to,
been doing that.
right, that's what I mean, so I would leave it
So the
alone.
recommendation from them, to those that have been watching it, is that this is probably the low point, and let's.
Oh, is that your recommendation, lock in?
We're not, we can't really project what that's going to be, like, that's not our expertise. We had picked the 350 because the thought process was over the next 2 months that the prices are supposed to go down. Those are the forecasts. There's been some of that, although it fluctuated more than they expected it to. It's not gone down as much as they intended in the 1 month numbers. And so we had picked 350 because that's the budget number, not because there was some magic to it. It was the number that was in the budget. And so we thought it was safe to wait a month and kind of see what happened in hopes that it hit 350. So
Are you comfortable with, like, is your recommendation for us to let you guys continue to watch it and make an educated decision, or do you prefer we not do that? What's your recommendation?
If you want him to be an oil speculator, you're gonna lose him as a superintendent. He's gonna have to
without knowing the budget well enough, I think that if you felt as though $1,100 could be found in the budget someplace else, I would consider the 353.
I would
Because the status over the last month has not been what they expected it to be. They
Okay.
expected it to hit 350 in about 2 weeks, and it's been 4 weeks since we've had that conversation, and it has fluctuated. Today's news was better than they've seen, so
We were a little
that
scared
actually was
earlier.
surprised, right? Because that number is a surprise. based off what we
What
saw.
you're saying is if it goes up, you don't want to, you don't want to.
I'm just saying that they were confident in terms of what would happen, and it's not happening. So I am always gonna look for a budget number. I don't know the budget well enough to know whether that $1,100 is going to be, and that we ought to take a chance. or whether we can find the 1,100 someplace else and lock it at 353 and say,
$345,000 in the.
I think we can find the $1,100 somewhere, just, you know, this way it takes the risk off the table. May not be exactly what we want. The other thing is, in the oil market, they're gonna run out of the strategic oil reserve sometime in October. That's not gonna help. So, my opinion is, I would be okay with locking it.
Okay, with 53?
353.
That's pretty close.
So are you saying you can't lock in right now with the previous motion? We would need a new motion for you to be able to lock into this number?
Yes.
Right, that's not on the agenda, so I guess we just need to make sure that
We
we
have
have to make
public
some kind of
comment
an
first.
announcement about it,
Yes.
yeah.
We can add it, but with public comment.
and it's an emergency health situation,
Right.
that it's time sensitive, that it's okay from sunshine.
I don't know too many people in the public that would really be up in arms about.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll move right into policy. I want to thank Tracy and Tanya for putting together these policies. And Mr. Chino for coming right from the summer. We had a little hiatus and we're ready to propose a lot of policies for the group. And Mr. Chino, would you like to go over them or would you like us to?
Either way is fine. Overall, these are, I like to call it HR and payroll policies, which is great. We had a conversation about it earlier this week. There's overall in the policies, although there's many of them, most of the updates are fairly minor. One of the thanks. Maybe you could just scroll down just a little bit. Some of the main changes are obviously outlined in here. One being related to some of the different leave of absences that we have, and just updating some of the language in some of the other policies related to sabbatical compensation, and some of the others. So if anyone has any questions about any of them, I know it's a lot to digest, but please look through them. If you have any particular reservations or suggestions, let us know, but we did discuss it as a group. I feel very comfortable.
None of these changes are in conflict with any contract.
Actually, that aligns with the contract
Yeah, even more so.
more so.
Than language we may have had. So all it's really doing is sort of bringing everything into.
And we did sign off with our comprehensive plan and PD plans to have at the library. So I emailed them, the local library with Tracy, and we made sure that they have a copy. I emailed it to them.
Oh.
I just thought that was very odd that the local library has a, but nonetheless, we're following.
So I had two questions. One is, are the changes made here, or any of them, the origin of the changes, was it all based on the PSBA recommendations, or were some of them internal, like we noticed something that we needed to make to bring it into alignment with, say,
All PSBA.
all PSBA? And then the other question is, they're all kind of in order except 601 and 707. Those seem to be the two that are out. And I know PSBA usually sends them in chunks, or we usually deal with them in chunks. So when I see numbers that are outside of that range, that's why I wonder.
So we waited for finance until Tanya's on board now.
Okay.
Tanya has extensive experience in policy over many, many years. And so it's the right time. That's why we're going to move a little ahead. Tracy's done a wonderful job with the 300s. And I brought to the JOC's attention the use of school facilities. We did have a request from Bucks County Community College, who we've developed a very strong relationship with. They presented opening day, the staff will tell you, enhancing our articulation agreements, but they would like to run a CDL program here on our site using our parking lot. They have insurance. It wouldn't require use of Don being here because they're even willing to put porta-johns on site. They're not opposed to being charged a price. Our current policy doesn't have a price for the parking lot. Both Ms. Vicino and Ms. Bennett Clemens is we're going to eventually look at the rates for the regulations and the day-to-day on what to charge. But I wanted to bring it to the JOC. We think it'll benefit our students because our seniors, even students that are 17, can take the course. I believe one of our staff members' husband is very hard to find CDL teachers, has expressed an interest to teaching it. And we just think that it'll help strengthen our partnership with the college as we go to ask them for space at their campus, et cetera. So Tracy Kindy has been your point of contact. They're very appreciative of your consideration on this, and if there's any questions that I can answer or she can answer, she's willing to come to the next meeting.
Yeah, I mean, do we typically have any vehicles left in the parking lot over the weekends and in the evenings?
We have main vehicles in the vans, but we could move them to an area where it's not in the way of training.
Yeah.
We understand where they want to work, or if we have to put lines down, that would be something.
Yeah.
That
I know in Quakertown, every once in a while, like the marching band would use the parking lot, and every once in a while, there'd be like one car in the middle of the parking lot left there. And, you know, the phone chain starts. So, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that, you know, even a student car that was broke down and couldn't get out, that we have a way to move it.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
The current policy has a lot of things that should be moved out of policy because they're procedures or regulations. So we'll take a look at those prices. The policy that PSBA proposes satisfies that. And again, with your permission, we just wanted consensus that you believe, as long as it's okay with the faculty and staff, to allow them to use the parking lot in October through December.
So how does it work if we end up with snow over the period of time and it's not cleared on weekend?
Well, I want
Do
to,
they
after
clear it
you
for
say
us?
it clear, thank you for saying that. And
Because I'm all in favor of clearing it for us.
what we try to do in college, because all of our programs for reapproval needs a articulation agreement. So we're beginning to schedule weekly, bi-weekly meetings with them. So the nice thing about that, in addition to that ACTE, the conference, about using them as a resource, again, together we accomplish more. They've been very reasonable. They have a very strong legal team along with, we have a great legal team too. We can work all of those details out, but it's going to be through communication on those items, like snow, et cetera.
So do we don't need any kind of a legal agreement on this?
We don't need a
Unless
full-fledged
the majority.
contract, you know, we should have, any question like this should be reduced to writing, but it doesn't need to be a full-fledged contract. As long as everybody's clear on their respective obligations here.
And are you looking for us to approve this, or are you looking for us to start a conversation on what kind of compensation? Yeah, I don't know exactly
The current,
which way you're going with it,
Okay.
because you said, you know, currently we don't have anything and we have a good relationship with them, so I don't know if you were looking.
we don't have a fee currently, even in our policy, for the use of parking lot. Our regulation does say that there has to be someone on site. However, because of the, not using any of the inside facilities or bathrooms, we would just, I'm just asking that you're okay with that, that we don't need someone on site. I'm not saying that Don or I wouldn't be available for cell phone, direct communication, but we don't need someone to come in to oversee that use of the lot. We could get them, a car between certain hours on the weekends, et cetera.
Okay.
So that would be my recommendation if the JOC is okay with that.
When we talk about CDF, what type of vehicles are you talking about?
Probably tractor trailers.
Tractor trailers or single body?
Where I took my,
Yeah, I mean, but again, it's.
I know with the class,
Adrian's suggestion is here's how we find the $1,100 in the budget for.
no, but the question,
Always thinking, Adrian,
at least I know where I've had experience with this, they've taught both.
Okay.
So, and I don't know.
But
that was-
it's
that
a
was
clear
my
distinction, we should be aware of that.
Yeah,
We have a concern about the weight of vehicles on the parking lot, the impact that might have.
Well,
They should be empty.
if they're empty, it's not near as bad as they had weight. It would definitely not be good to turn sharply.
And so in terms of what we had out there, it's going to be fine to have trucks that are not full.
Yes, I would think so. It's,
well, they will be backing up, they will be maneuvering tight turns and stuff, so that does tend to put,
I'm more worried about the surface.
yeah, more stress on that one part of the surface if they do it in the same place over and over again.
in the summertime where you have hot macadam, when it's 100 degrees out, that would be definitely a worse situation. If it's cooler weather in October to December. So I would be comfortable with it.
Okay, so,
Now, is the plan, this is gonna be an annual thing?
well, just, it'll be written such in a way that the things will be able to back out of it, but.
Why don't we take a look at what, I'm sensitive to Dr. Bolton's input. If we approve one go at it, and then we take a look, make sure that we're not tearing up the parking lot. And if it's good to go, then, it's good to go.
Okay,
And if not, we'll politely say, no, because you're tearing up our parking lot, unless you want to repave it.
But wouldn't they have to do that anyway?
Well, depends on the contract.
The contract, you'd wanna have it in there, take care of the parking lot. Sure, you can do that. Yeah, you would want that.
A damage clause in the
Yeah, you
contract.
have to have it.
They said they have insurance, so, but you know that you're tearing it up. I wouldn't want to continue it anyway. Even if they do have insurance, we don't want to tear up all the parking lot.
okay, so it sounds like one go ahead, but still continue to ask the questions. Work very closely with Mr. Khan for solicitor, based on his guidance.
What is the risk? I wouldn't, I'd make sure it doesn't cost us anything. It's cost neutral. So
Okay.
next time we can go to them for something that's cost neutral.
Got it. And, any
And
other
if not, then this no longer stays cost neutral, right?
Correct.
Thank you. Is there any other questions on policy? Okay. Thank you. Got it.
I'm gonna call the Upper Woods County Technical School JOC meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Clemens, here. Mr. Steer,
Here?
Mr. Hallowell,
I'm here.
Mr. Cormack,
Here.
Mr. Chiliak, here. Dr. Oz,
Here.
Mr. Sheena, here. Mr. Shermer,
Here.
Mr. Word.
Here.
Okay, and there was an executive session held prior to this meeting to discuss
Personnel and security issues.
And we're gonna come back to public comment. First, we're gonna move to the director's report.
Thank you, Ms. Dennis Clemens, and it's great to see everyone here tonight, and we apologize for the slight delay. But welcome back. We had a fantastic opening to school and are very excited to have a record number of students at the tech school. It's great to see all the community and the faculty in attendance. Our faculty and staff are very united. We have our core values of professionalism, performance, and integrity. We've had great new teacher induction, great professional development. It was so great to see the students back. Mary Ann or Kim, would you like to comment on anything about that?
The atmosphere of the school has been great, amazing, very light, and I have to commend Dr. Barrera for his, for hiring the teachers, the new teacher study. They're fabulous. They're jumping in and doing a great job, so.
Yeah, I agree with everything that she just said. I mean, teachers are out and about, we're helping each other, people aren't afraid to ask for help. It's just, it's like a really good camaraderie is back in the building again. It's just like a really good feeling, so.
Thank you both. We prioritize school safety, occupational safety, anti-bullying. We want to create a safe, secure learning environment for our students. And we appreciate the JOC, some of the discussions on that we, again, safe, secure, optimal learning environment. We know our location significantly increases the time it takes for our first responders. We have a couple guests here tonight to come onto campus. We had a safety security grant where we're looking to get additional cameras for blind spot areas, an updated PA system, Share 911, which is instant communication, which is very important that our faculty and staff are able to communicate with first responders instantly. We've already used it a couple times this year, and it's really nice to be able to keep in touch instantly. A student accountability tracker, making sure that we know where all of our students are at all times. And looking to get a social worker for Bucks County Intermediate Unit for social, emotional needs of our students. We have Blaze Mark, which we approved in the budget. That is going to come out, but our pre-preparedness, Bart Klaus is here tonight. Bart, thank you. And he's done a wonderful job at the PD uniting our first responders and making sure that we are able to communicate effectively and efficiently. We owe a lot to you, Bart. Would you like to do a quick overview?
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Herrera. I know everybody's had a long day, so I'm going to keep this really brief. I'm going to ask the good doctor to try the quick little overview of the system, if you don't mind.
Would you like to?
No, you could do it.
Okay.
We'll see how user-friendly we just made this, right? So the idea here is to A, institutionalize information, right? 2 is get information out to facilities, to faculty, and to the first responders, right? Very quickly, we have several thousand users on this platform, and I'm aware of about 4 situations where the software has been used in a very hostile environment, including one here in Bucks County when Hurricane Irene came blowing through here years ago. So we're able to integrate in security cameras as the system here gets upgraded and push information out on the general facility very quickly to first responders. Keep in mind up here, and I've got 30 years in as a line officer and as an executive officer with the Upper Mayfield Fire Company. So we are still predominantly a volunteer-based fire response organization. Help for any of these, especially out here. It's going to be a few minutes in coming, right? Just given geographies, given staffing levels, things like that. So what we've done is captured all of the information, and I have to give a special shout out to Don Moyer, because he walked this facility with one of our fire chiefs. And as they went through and they were looking at the floor plans, I think at some point it became obvious the drawings weren't quite up to snuff. And that would be really a bad thing to occur in almost any type of emergency response situation. You want accurate data. And through that exercise, we came up with really good first responder friendly drawings. So if we were to look at, just bring up a building. Yeah, the main building's good. So we've got general decent Google aerials of the school. We've got the floor plans filled in. We have all the doors numbered so that a first responder can navigate to exactly where he needs to be very, very quickly. Keeping in mind, one of Chief Phelan's officers, whether he's here or not here, he's not going to be looking at his MDT driving to an event here, right? So the idea is all the surrounding mutual aid emergency responders can all be operating off of a common operating picture. So that's my rant. Thank you.
We appreciate it, thank you. And we also have Chief Phelan here tonight, which we are very appreciative and of the JOC to create that memorandum of understanding of him being on campus. We've had great relationships with Chief, access to the weight room. When students see the cars on campus, it's not a negative. Again, they know that they're role models, that they're there to help protect them. And whether it's our staff doing chainsaw training, we just create a very positive environment for our law enforcement. And Chief Phelan, we want to thank you personally for all you do to protect our students, community, and staff members.
Thanks, Dr. O'Hare. For those that don't know me, my name is Matt Phelan. I'm the police chief in Bedminster for the last 2 years. I spent 20 years in neighboring Tinicum, so I've kind of been upper Bucks law enforcement now for over 2 decades. Just wanted to thank you all for your work on the MOU. We have our workspace up and running now. It's at the main entrance where the students come in every morning. There's a couple of ideas behind that. One is accessibility. We want students to have accessibility to the officers in an informal way, where if they're out in the hallways, they can feel free to chat with them, same with staff. I had a nice discussion the other day with one of the staff as we were switching here from the AM to the PM students. And, you know, I've had some real nice discussions with the law enforcement program students. We work very well with Joel and his program. Myself and one of my corporals is on the occupational advisory committee. We also do the NOCTI testing, proctoring, evaluation. So that's been really a really good partnership. We're just looking to build any way we can. You know, like Dr. Harris stated, the safety of the 900 students here and the staff is one of our highest priorities. So we're in this building almost every day, and we have that welcome feeling when we come in from everybody, from the staff and the kids are starting to get used to seeing us now. We were here the first day of school, and I got some like first couple of sideways looks, but now they're starting to be more familiar with us, and I think that's only going to build the trust. And just a real quick story: 20 years ago, I was a dare officer in Tinicum Elementary, and I still have kids. They were kids then, but I have adults now who still feel comfortable just giving me a call. Be like, hey, I have this problem. You know, I spent 10 weeks with them when they were 10 years old. But now we have that trust. So anything we can do to build that trust in the community with people when they're in elementary school or in high school, I think goes a long way. So that's what we're here to do, and we're happy to support the tech school with whatever we can. They definitely give back to us. We do our use of force training here. We use the simulator. We do defensive tactics here. So it's been a great partnership. Any questions? I'm gonna skedaddle because it's my youngest's birthday.
Thank you.
We just look to partner with Last Chance Ranch, really enhancing that partnership today. Very excited about that. We participated in Palisades Back to School Luncheon, so thanks Chef Penn and the students. When you go through the pictures, just take a look at the smiles that the kids have and how proud they are to give back to the community. So that's our focus. One of our core values is giving back. Our exercise science class is, as the Mrs. Theo said, up and running. The instructor, it's like they've been here for how long? Years. They're doing a great job getting our future sports medicine professionals, business owners, clinic managers up and running. We have a career technical distinguished school leader visit. So they met with all the staff. And it's nice to interact. They're from York County CTC. He'll be at the next board meeting. He's an asset to us. He's a good person, and the staff has really hit it off with him. On Friday, we have about 150 students going to the NHRA youth field trip at Maple Grove Raceway. Thank God COVID is over. And we're super excited about that. We appreciate the cluster, the auto cluster, and all that they do, and there's just that level of excitement to attend. They'll talk about career opportunities and all the great job prospects that are out there. A lot of our students, it's great to celebrate them as academic at their sending schools, technical, but they do so well in athletics too, and extracurricular, and we always promote that. So Ashley Amato, Morning Pulse Athlete of the Week. We have really a lot of athletes, band, extracurricular. We really like that. We just want to make sure that parents and the community knows that they're able to do it all. Get the great CTC education, great academic at our 3 premier sending schools, and also participate in athletics or extracurricular. Our parent information night is September 22nd. We're ready to go for that. Mr. Matthias submitted a farm back contest while he was in Wyoming, and we made the deadline. We appreciate this. We have a great relationship with Certainty. We know that some board members from Penridge recommended it. Again, we always take advantage of that. I thank Mr. Matthias for prioritizing this grant. Welding and academic integration, the students are just getting ready for the hands-on. They've been here for 2 weeks, and again, just taking a look at their faces. We have Subaru University's dealership where they're getting post-secondary opportunities while in high school. We all know Chef Ott is back. I don't know if she's still here, but what a wonderful food in the restaurant. Mr. Fortunato will be starting, I believe, on the 22nd. 26th, thank you, Mr. Grant. Pittsburgh Institute for Aeronautics has come in. They're one of the top technical schools as by Forbes magazine in the country. We have students that attend there, and again, we're always promoting CTE is not terminal, that you have opportunities to go up the career ladder and further your education. They present into the entire cluster, and then we have a lot of placements. I've asked our school tour extraordinaire instructor, Mrs. Walk, who's been here for 2nd year, but has done a wonderful job to do an update on our school tour program.
Thank you. I'm Lisa Walk. I'm the school to work coordinator, or as the students refer to me as the co-op lady. I am taking the place of the amazing Marilyn Reese, and she was really a good mentor to me, and I'm not quite here a full year yet. In November, it'll be a year. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on the amount of kids that we have out and how things are kind of progressing. So over the summer, we had 38 students go out for summer co-op. So I was signing, if they were contacting me and they wanted to start to work, I was signing them up. So 4 of those students are exclusively summer only, meaning that their employment would end when school started, but the rest of them continued on. And then since the start of school, we put out 5 more students with 23 more students paperwork pending. So we have great relationships with all of our employers, and we're getting new employers every day, and it's just really been a great experience. So, and we have 2 cooperative education students here tonight, along with their amazing employers. So it's just a great extension of the classroom to get the students out to work.
And that's our end goal. I would really appreciate, especially students that are starting in 9th grade, because by the time they're in 10th grade, they're out on summer co-op. And that's very important. And this list that's on the board, when you go through those pictures, that start with this many students, and again, just taking a look at their faces and how excited they are, that's their signing day. And that's the output. So Mrs. Roth does a lot of school to work presentations. She has companies, and we know all the work that goes in before that is just amazing. And whether it's Mr. and Mrs. Linden and that connection with the co-op is just great. It's a wonderful community to be in. And I'd like to go through each of these pictures, but as you can tell, there's a lot. And we'll put this on social media. Any questions for Mrs. Roth?
So students can only start co-op in 10th grade?
Well, it's really dependent. So the way this RCTC works is it's student driven. So the students have a task list, and if they're self-motivated and kind of can accomplish a little bit more on the tasks, or it takes them less time to accomplish, it's teacher recommended. So if the teacher feels that they would benefit from being out on the work site, then I'll take the teacher's recommendation, and as long as the parents are on board and the student is willing, then we can get them out. But I've had students out in 10th grade, 11th grade, and as seniors.
So if we had a student that started in 10th grade that didn't start in 9th grade, they probably wouldn't be able to go out on co-op.
I don't want to say that they wouldn't be able to go out on co-op, but it's dependent on their motivation level. So if they're being able to get through the tasks a little bit faster, then it's a little bit easier to put them out. And also if they have a family background. So if they're an electrician and their dad's an electrician, they already have a little bit of that background knowledge. So things come a little bit easier to that. Definitely 9th grade helps though, because that extra year worth of knowledge and everything is going to help propel them out faster. Thank you. Yes.
What percentage of the kids get a full-time job from the co-op?
That is a great question, and I'm so glad that you asked that. So last year I had, it was a combination of 10th, 11th, and 12th graders out, but I had 80 kids out at the close of the year, and 47 of them got offered full-time jobs. So now some of them were only 11th grade, so naturally they weren't offered a full-time job, and 10th grade, but 47 were offered.
That's great.
Sometimes multiple offers.
We should celebrate that.
That's true.
The public should know that.
That's true.
Kids go there, they get a job. Absolutely.
That's a great statistic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice job. With
Thank
that,
you.
Thank you. And we have our 2 student of the months here. I'll start with Brianna. And Brianna is a student in our Ag Tech and Life Sciences program and a senior at Penn Ridge High School. Brianna is a first honor student, has received the most dedicated award in her program for 2 years. She is an FFA, Future Farmers of America member, and has served as the UBCTS chapter historian and treasurer. Brianna is OSHA certified and Case Animal Science and Plant Science certified, which means she's getting credits from Del Valle University, Rutgers, and based on passing those certifications. She's a cooperative education student and employed at Morningstar Farms. And received her American Red Cross CPR and First Aid certifications. After graduation, Brianna plans to become a livestock veterinarian. And thank you so much, Brianna. I'm so very proud of you. And I'll never forget having opening day when we were changing the program to Ag Tech with you and your parents, saying, give it a chance. We didn't have the curriculum set. It was just a dream. And you started as an 8th grader. You took a chance, and you've been leading the way. So we appreciate that. And would you like to say anything, Ron?
Okay, so I mean, yeah, when I first started, I was not as, outgoing. And as I started to, join a cafe and meet all the new people, I had so many opportunities being a part of this, and it opened so many more doorways for me on what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do something animal related, but I wasn't sure. And now Del Val's my dream school, so this is definitely helping me out. So it's a great opportunity, definitely working with the students.
Mr. Dietrich, as instructor, would you like to add anything?
I'll wait till I vote, though.
Okay.
So you plan on using those college credits you're earning to go to Del Val, even though you're earning them from Del Val now? Great.
Very excited.
And Brianna, before you sit down, I just have to tell you that she was very quiet when she was trying to get a job and everything, and she has just really blossomed. She's very responsible and very conscientious of her work, and it shows. So.
Okay, Autumn, if you could please stand. Autumn Moore is also a student in our agriculture, tech, and life science program, and a senior at Quakertown Community High School. Autumn is a first honor student and has received the most outstanding level 1 and 2 award in her program. Autumn is OSHA certified and has completed her case animal certification. She is an FFA member and is applying for her chapter degree, which is quite an honor. Autumn is also a cooperative education student employed at Morningstar Farms. Autumn also volunteers at Last Chance Ranch. So it was great to have them on campus, and you notice it's what a great community we are in, and how much staff and community members are involved in your success, but it's also you've earned it too. Both of you have demonstrated the will, the skill, and the passion to go on and do great things. After graduation, Autumn plans to pursue her career in animal science. A round of applause.
So Autumn, my 10-year-old daughter, every time we drive by Last Chance Ranch, has to say hi to Elmo. She has to put down the window and say hi.
Elmo is our emu at Last Chance. I've really enjoyed the program. I moved to Quakertown my 6th grade year, and this wasn't an option at my old school. Where we live, we don't have the opportunity to do livestock or anything like that, so my house is full of bird, cat, dog, anything like that I can do, but this, 2 guinea pigs. So this really gave me the opportunity to expand my knowledge in animals and plants. So I've met amazing people and made lifetime friends, so I've really enjoyed it. Very thankful.
Autumn being part of the co-op program, really heart of gold, this girl. I don't think she could have ever even heard of flag. And I remember one of our first conversations was about the TV show Heartland. And then we just got sucked in with the horses and all that kind of stuff. So congratulations, dear. And then I'd also like to give Bonnie flowers for being such a wonderful
Bonnie, would you like to say anything?
Yes, I would like to say thank you to the girls and the family and Lisa for the whole crew. Everything you're doing here is so wonderful. And I think college is so stress. But the basic skills of kids learning and getting hands-on and deciding what they really want to do with their life rather than just, oh, I want the college experience. That's all well and good, but these kids know, they got their heads on. They know where they're going, they know what they want to do, and we depend on them very heavily. And I just love it. And when I lose these girls, because they're going to outgrow me, I'm depending on Lisa to give me a couple more. So it's a really great program, and my husband and I are very grateful for everybody who's involved in supplying it.
We know you're connected with the services limited, and we appreciate that. And then the parents want to say anything?
I will. These two girls have done really well, and I want to thank Bonnie and Greg for putting up with them. Oh, and teaching them everything.
We make them breakfast.
They spoil them too.
And chocolate milkshakes.
Yes, I hear that. But I just want to say, like, when Brianna first started as a freshman, as she said, she was quiet and very timid. And the program and Bonnie and Greg definitely helped bring out the true Brianna and the personality and help her realize what she wants. It's been great, thank you.
Thank you all. We appreciate it. George, you ready?
Yeah. So when Dr. Eric called me and said, instead of having just one student month, let's have two, I knew instantly right away who I would nominate, and it was both Bree and Autumn. The word of the month for the school this year is trust, and trust is defined as assured reliance on the character, ability, strength, or truth of someone. And I know for sure, when I hear that word, I instantly think of you too, and I know for sure Bonnie and your boss and your fellow employers, and a lot of us do think of that. When I try to sit there and think about all the different awards and achievements that you both girls have won and earned throughout your time in my program, it's really kind of difficult for me to kind of express how truly proud I am to be your teacher. I remember Brianna sitting at the first FFA meeting of the year looking at me saying, "What's the Keystone degree?" And Brianna, I got bad news, you're earning your Keystone degree this year. And I remember when Autumn came in, I was super nervous having a 10th grader starting in the start of the program, and Autumn has been nothing but delight in the classroom. In fact, my favorite day of the week is by far Wednesday, when I know for sure both Autumn and Bree are there to make sure everything's being done right in the shop and that everything's being taken care of the way it needs to. Having a class full of sophomores in the PM is wonderful, but knowing that I have really strong, dedicated seniors to kind of help make sure that those sophomores are being led down the right path and soon be co-op students themselves in 2 years, hopefully. It's really great to kind of have that. So thank you both, and thank you to the parents as well for raising such wonderful children.
If you really want to make sure you have a line of kids coming your way, just advertise that breakfast and chocolate milkshake thing. Congratulations.
That's 24, thank you, Ms. Bennett.
If I can ask for a member of the JOC to make, I'm not going to ask anyone to read my handwriting. I'm inviting someone to make a motion to amend the agenda to add what would be new agenda item 9.5, which would be a motion to approve a contract for the purchase of fuel oil through the Bucks County Intermediate Unit from Petco at $3.53 per gallon. Is someone willing to make the motion?
I'll second it.
And my understanding is we got this quote today. We have to lock it in before next month's meeting. That's the reason this item is being added.
Any other questions or comments from board members? All in favor of adding the motion to the agenda?
Well, do we have to have a comment on that?
And we're just adding it, we're gonna actually make the motion later in the agenda, but we're just adding the motion now.
Okay.
All in favor of adding that motion? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion passes 9-0. That item will now appear on the agenda.
I'll come to you.
And then am I gonna read your handwriting? Okay, so that brings us to public comment. And just a reminder that the first comment period is on agenda items only, and then the second comment period will be for anything. Are there any people here present in public who would like to comment?
Lyndon did shift in his seat a little bit.
Okay, seeing none, and is there anyone on Zoom who would like to comment? Seeing none. Okay, then that brings us to our subcommittee reports. First is facilities.
Fine.
I see what it is. Okay, we didn't have a meeting today. Is there anything you want to update? No? Okay. And then finance subcommittee? Yeah, you do.
Good evening, everyone. So for the update is just 3 agenda items. One is regarding asset inventory. We're moving to, it is on the board agenda today, to go with the company IAC at a contracted rate of $8,330 to go ahead and do that inventory survey for us. Also is oil prices, which we just moved down the agenda for the prices have dropped to $3.63 a gallon, which is the lowest it's been in quite some time. And the last one is an update on the audit for financial audit for the school district, which our auditors will be returning next week to finish up that audit for last year. So hopefully we'll have that closed up soon and have good news.
We also are welcoming Tanya for her first meeting. We're very appreciative. We're very thankful for the Bucks County Intermediate Unit and Teresa to make a smooth transition. I know both Tanya and Teresa have come in on Friday when the school isn't open to ensure that. We're also looking forward to that transition for the next month to make sure that it's smooth. And so we're very thankful for both of them.
And I'd like to apologize for probably throwing you under the bus, that you would be given the report. You probably had no idea coming into this. You did great though.
All right, and then the policy subcommittee?
Okay, so we reviewed, give me 1 second, I'm sorry. You ready?
I'll just jump in really quick for Michael. All right, so at the meeting today, we reviewed and discussed several policies, primarily focused on human resources and payroll. Nothing significant, just minor updates based on appropriate recommendations. Policy 601 is listed on here, or there's no changes to that one, and policy 707 is an ongoing discussion regarding the possibility of utilizing the facility for other purposes, like training events, for example. But they're all just under review, so we'll finalize at a later meeting.
Thank you very much.
And we didn't have a program subcommittee, was there anything that I want to mention? All right, then next we move on to the consent agenda. On the consent agenda, we have the August minutes, the September bills payable, August financial reports, the personnel recommendations, which includes a new instructional three new instructional facilitators, building and grounds supervisor salary adjustment, safety officer salary adjustment, a stipend, a new hire for a help desk technician, and a new hire for a cafeteria worker. We also have the approval of a Perkins grant in the amount of $139,353. The designation of the equipment listed as obsolete and approval for sale and disposal. The approved adding of a vendor and approving the appraisal agreement with Industrial Appraisal Company for the proposed inventory and appraisal service for $8,330 in annual services in the amount of $330 for updating property inventory and accounting cost record, and $550 for updating uninsurable values, with the appraisal agreement dated August 17th, 2022. So could I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? This is moved by Mrs. Bertoya, seconded by Mr. Shermer. Questions or comments from board members?
I had a question. Dr. Herrera had mentioned he wanted to speak a little bit about some of the new facilitators.
Sure. Sharon Hoffman is one of the ones that we're voting on. She graduated from William Tennant High School, Allentown Business School, and Bucks County Community College. She has experience leading people of all ages from a military background, Pennsylvania Air National Guard, training airmen in OSHA relations, to being a cheerleading coach. She was a local school district security guard. She protected students, faculty, and staff by being visible on the campus, monitoring hallways, parking lots, and other areas while cooperating like we have a very good relationship with the local police. John Jones is graduated from Franklin High School, Maryland, and Del Valle University. He has experience and is a special ed instructional facilitator. He's presently a social media coordinator for high school football and is an assistant track and field coach at Del Valle University. And he's really, bought into that culture and climate of our school. And finally, Stephen Ripper, who is a former Quakertown and UBCTS board member. He has experience with construction and historic restoration. He was a former substitute teacher here. And he also helped us with the Penn Ridge baseball fields on a volunteer basis, getting them up and running. So again, we're about recruiting and retaining a very talented staff here. That culture and climate that we have is very, very important. We thank Mrs. Cram again for streamlining those processes and make sure that we are ready for the students.
I'd like to second the thanking of Mrs. Cram to this whole summer has been a marathon of hiring, and I'm sure she has been extremely busy. So thank you for all that you've done over these past few months.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from board members? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 8-9-0. Sorry, can't speak today. And next, I'll ask for a motion to approve the business manager transition services and payroll consultative services agreement with the Bucks County Intermediate Unit from September 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2022 for the terms of the agreement.
Make a motion.
Moved by Mr. Cormack. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Hallowell. Questions or comments from board members? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Next is I'll ask for a motion to approve Dr. Michael Herrera to attend the ACTE Visions Conference Fellowship and Presentation in Las Vegas, Nevada from November 29th, 2022 through December 2nd, 2022 at a cost not to exceed $1,300. The registration fee of $445 was waived due to Dr. Herrera's participation in the ACTE Fellowship Program. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Moved by Dr. Ott, seconded by Mr. Spear. Questions or comments for board members? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 9-0.
I'd like to thank the board for that. It's been a wonderful experience in taking best practice from throughout the country, but more importantly, showing the best practice that we have here at Bucks County Technical School. We're very proud. We're potentially looking to host the ACTE Region 1 Conference here in Bucks County. And again, the resources and the networks is very valuable. So I thank the JOC for this opportunity.
We have another motion for the IU. Motion to approve the contract for the purchase of fuel oil through the Bucks County Intermediate Unit through PADCO at $3.53 per gallon.
So moved.
No, he moved it.
Oh, I'll second it. Sorry, I thought since he read it.
Moved by Mr. Cormack, seconded by Mr. Spear. Questions or comments for board members? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. That brings us back to public comment. Are there any members of the public who would like to comment in the room? No? Seeing none? Anyone online? Okay, great. Announcements. The next regular JOC board meeting is scheduled for October 20th at 7 p.m. in this room, 205.
for JOC members, Upper Bucks County Technical School Administration, and public attendance, or you can also attend via Zoom. Are there any joint operating committee concerns? Go ahead.
I would just think that, like her, it's amazing what's turned around in this place in the last few months. The spirit and the employees and everybody, it's such a great success story. You need to share it more with the county and the schools to get more people here, because you can get them a job for good money at a school, and they can skip college, if they can go to college too, or they can skip it. It's just, we need to do a better job of selling, I think, so get more people in there if possible.
Well, you better be ready to, you better be ready to approve the addition.
So,
No, I mean, Ben Rich will have to pay for it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right now,
you don't get enough credit.
Well, thank you. Anyone else have any joint operating committee concerns? No? Okay, then I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Moved by Mr. Hollowell, seconded by Dr. Ott. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 9-0, we're adjourned.